Hello everyone, it is the FPL Grandmaster back again with another YouTube video for you all today. So we'll be looking ahead to game week 27 and also reviewing how game week 26 has gone. I'll start right now by going through my double game week 26 team. So played the triple captain in the end. That's what I went for. It's what a lot of people online tended to go for, especially amongst content creators. In the end, I mean, not it wasn't a bad week to play the chip, I don't think, with the uncertainty surrounding future doubles. I think it made perfect sense to go for it this week. Didn't go as well as I think a lot of us would have hoped, though, with Gabriel only getting 7 points and no clean sheets. Quite lucky actually to even come away, I think, in the end with an assist. It was a good assist in the game against Wolves, to be fair, but it's hardly what you would have expected. So, for those of you that captained and triple captained Declan Rice, fair play. It seems like it was the right decision after all. On that note, there is a lot of skepticism surrounding playing triple captain on a defender, even in a double game week. And I think that kind of just reaffirms that if there's any defender you were going to do it on this season, at least, I think it would have been Gabriel. It just goes to show, really, it's nothing's really guaranteed. I think psychologically speaking, when it comes to defenders, it's you're constantly just hoping they don't concede. So it's whereas like with the midfielders and attackers, the forwards, you're kind of waiting for them to do something. So in that sense, it's a lot more you're a lot more on edge, I think, watching defenders when you captain them compared to midfielders and forwards. But I mean, I was lucky this week. I managed to get quite a big green arrow in the end, owing not really. I mean, to Arsenal, I guess Rice is the standout there, but I think really what made the difference was Njai and Semenyo this week. Semenyo against Liverpool, yes, against. Oh my bad. It's been a while. It's been a while since looking. But yeah, it was against Fulham. The Liverpool game was the week before, I believe. But yeah, against Fulham, goal, assist, as much as I would have really wanted from him. And I think that and Njai scoring a penalty, which I mean we've talked a lot about Njai being a penalty taker at Everton, finally working out this game week, which is something I mean I've been waiting for. And I think it's those two really that made a difference this week and allowed me to get a massive green arrow. One thing to note, I think, was so my safety score was 63, so this is comfortable. 80, but of course without the triple captain now, so for those that didn't play it, they've got that advantage, I suppose. Up front, of course, an assist each between Bowen and Haaland. So, I mean, yeah, that I take to be fair. I mean, for Bowen, I wasn't really expecting anything against United, so the fact he got an assist, I'm quite happy with. With Haaland, on the other hand, it's kind of becoming more and more frustrating, and now he's yellow flagged as well, which is a bit more of a headache. We'll talk about that a bit more later on in the video, but it is becoming increasingly frustrating with Haaland. There's a lot of value tied up in him, and you can plausibly think of a case to maybe move him on. So that's definitely something to consider also. I don't think there's much more to say. I mean, Fernandez against West Ham, you might have expected more. I mean, it would have been 5 wins in a row if they'd won that game. And I think they just sometimes United do struggle in these quote unquote low block against these quote unquote low block teams, more defensive teams. It's just one of those things I think. Uh, Bruno Guimaraes is going to be a bit of a headache too. He Let's see what he did. Yeah, he got DEFCON, he got yellow, but now he's red flagged. Looks like he's out until April, I believe. So with that, there's yeah, it's a bit of a headache for me transfer wise. Not really sure what to do there. And then Timber, of course, just I don't know what to do with him, to be honest. I mean, I brought him in for precisely for the double game week. A lot of people have been talking badly of him, and he's really not like done himself justice in the double. I mean, no clean sheets and no attacking returns either, no DEFCON. So it's pretty disastrous to be fair from Timber. Lacroix got DEFCON, I think, in that game. And he can see it was the Burnley game. You expect a clean sheet there, I think. But He doesn't get it. It's, it's a bit like a lot of people brought in Munoz for 26, and I mean, very unlucky if you did. I think you in any, I mean, with the XGI, it was above one for sure. So you are looking at, I think, at least one attacking return. And you don't expect, I mean, even if Burnley score, that's one thing. You don't expect them to put three past you. So that's a bit frustrating for anyone that owned him. One thing to note, so that's in terms of my rank, I'm now inside the top 2.2 million, so it's not going very well. Earlier in the season, I was doing a lot better. I think I was at 700k at one point, and then in December, I had a really bad streak of red arrows, which I might have mentioned in, I think, my first video, my first couple of videos, talking about just I had a really bad streak of red arrows, and it got really bad. So now we're looking at steady progression now. This was a big game week. I think I'm not sure by how much I've really gone up, to be fair, but I think considerable. We're looking at a few hundred K at least in rank increase, but obviously it's far from where I'd want to be, especially at this stage of the season with only 12 game weeks ahead. So it's really my thinking now is all to do with where am I gonna get a rank, where am I gonna be able to push up and push further in. That kind of leads me to kind of consider, yeah, you might have seen I've been watching a lot of FPL YouTube. Anyway, so yeah, so it kind of leads me into game week 27 now, where I'm gonna talk a bit about my team and what I'm kind of considering doing. So there are kind of two pathways I'm kind of considering at the moment. The first is an early wild card. A lot of people are talking up a wild card in game week 32, mainly because I think there's meant to be a double in 33, or that's what the rumor is anyway, between City and Palace. And of course, there's a blank in 31 for City, Palace, Wolves, and Arsenal. So there's a lot. That's like pretty much the talk of FPL at the moment. It's really planning around that. The first, so yeah, I'll go through both strategies I'm considering at the moment. But I mean, as you can see, on projections, I mean, wildcard marginally wins, but maybe if my transfer is a bit different, there's not much in it really. But I think even a bit right now, I really do need to chase Frank, so I'm kind of considering it. But what that would look like for this week would be me not doing anything, basically. Leaving Bruno on the bench, not making a transfer there. Playing 4-4-2. I'd probably play Michele over Anderson, I think. And Krupi away to West Ham. I mean, on paper, it's a good fixture, but of course, it's always a minute's risk with him. And I'm not particularly keen to play him this week. So I just line up basically with, I mean, the same 15 as last week with a bit of rotation. Just, yeah, that would pretty much be it. And then captaincy, I think it would probably be on Haaland. I'm kind of considering Semenyo as well because he's been a lot more in form at City as of recently. Even if projections favor Haaland, I think Semenyo is a decent shout this week. Also, Everton away for Fernandez is another consideration. I'm not completely sold on it, but I mean, Everton, I think they're starting to turn it around at home, but this season they haven't been great at home. So I hardly think it's the worst choice to go with Fernandez I mean, away to Everton this game week. It's something to consider, but I think I'm quite happy to go Haaland at home to Newcastle. Newcastle away. I mean, recently they've been all right away. They've been doing better, but it's still City, and I think Haaland will be keen to prove a point in that game. So I'm thinking how's best to do this. We'll go with, I think we are compare it to the other strategy for game 27 first, and then we can talk through future plans. So in terms of game week 27, if I the other move is basically just to make a transfer, get rid of Bruno Guimaraes and bring in Shada. It could be Dango as well. It really depends what I'm feeling, but I think Kevin Shada is a good choice at Brentford. I think he's just a very good player overall. It's definitely a move I'm considering making. Something I would be keen to do, I think. And I think it's still a pretty good transfer in and I mean he has a decent game in the yeah, he's playing Leeds away in the blank. So that's yeah, I'm pretty happy with that. move as a potential transfer. But I mean, then we go to game week 28. Do we? I mean, yeah, basically everything else is the same. So then you can kind of compare the two options in 28. One thing to know, I just don't think wildcarding this week for my team at least is a good move because I think the team's good enough to do well on its own. I think a wildcard kind of, I might be potentially throwing away points, so I don't think it needs to wildcard this week. It's more next week where things they don't look as good. It's less likely to go as well. So because of that, that's why I'm considering 28 wildcard rather than 27. So as of right now, I've got Hill coming in for Timber if I don't wildcard. I mean that could change to be fair. I mean maybe I go for Thiago. That might actually be the better play to be fair. And I think a lot of people are going to look to bring in Thiago in this week anyway, so I think that's a perfectly good move. The one thing to note, of course, is I mean the whole reason I was going to get rid of Timber is I'm gonna have to clear the bench for 31 in either case, basically, because of the blank. I can only have a max of three outfield players blanking and just I can put them all on the bench. So if I'm getting rid of Bowen for Thiago, even if it's a good move in the week, it's another like future headache I'm gonna have with some of these players getting rid of them later on. That's one thing I think to consider. I think yeah, so for that reason, I think for now probably be I'd marginally prefer to bring in Hill that week. That kind of saves it kind of just brings about a bit more funds also. So that's something to work with. In terms of the wild card, this is what I'm looking at really. The goalkeepers change. Henderson's useful because I mean later on he'll have a double, so it's good to have a double game week player in there. Shada, Kelleher, Thiago, triple Brentford away to Burnley. I mean, maybe it's not the best move after they beat Palace 3-2, I don't know, but it is a bit of a fortress at points tough more. It can be at least. But I think it's a good game and a lot of people won't make. I mean, they might have Thiago. I don't think they'll have Shada, so I think that kind of helps to ensure if Brentford do well in that game, you're more likely to benefit from it, just in terms of effective ownership. Then in defense, I think Virgil van Dijk, I'm not completely sold on him yet. It's still a bit ambiguous if I think I want to go there, but I'm considering it. I'm considering it. And West Ham at home is a fairly decent fixture. Hell at home to Sunderland's, I think is also good. Rogers, I've been banging on about for God knows how many weeks now. So if I wildcarded, I'd probably bring him in as well. And Wilson, home to Tottenham, I think is a perfectly fine fixture. I think he has decent potential to do well there. Then you'll notice I have Calvert-Lewin on the bench as well, just again in anticipation for 31. I think that's probably another week maybe to consider. Yeah. So I think 29, 30. We'll see how that goes. I don't really know. But in terms of 31, if I'm on the wild card, this is kind of how before making any transfers, how it would look. So I think it looks pretty decent, to be fair. And then Calvert-Lewin has the game, Brentford at home. Maybe I move him on to Shan Larson after this. I don't know. That's definitely a possibility. But I think the team looks very good if I wildcard for game week 31. And that's something I'd want. And at the same time, I can keep Haaland, Semenyo, and Gabriel. And I think Haaland and Gabriel, they're still very good options. And Haaland, unless he's injured, I wouldn't want to get rid of him in the next few games anyway. Semenyo, I think, he kind of complements Haaland quite well. A lot of people have Haaland, but how many have Haaland and Semenyo? That's even though Semenyo's ownership is high, I don't think it's as much. So again, if City do well in a game, if you have both of them, you're more likely to benefit than just having one. And because the title race is still very much on after Arsenal drew both of their games in the double, I think they're both sound options. In terms of if I don't play the wild card, then probably be looking to make a couple transfers in this week. So Chow comes in, Verts comes in, and Rogers comes in for Lacroix, Rice, and Semenyo. Yeah, I'm not. I mean, that is an issue in and of itself. I think I'm not sure how much I'd want to get rid of Semenyo. I mean, maybe I don't have to be fair. Maybe I like. Maybe I pick one of Verts and Rodgers, and maybe Krupi's the one that gets changed. Maybe I go for like Calvert-Lewin just for this week. That's also an option, I think. Obviously, then if I want Strand Larson, it's another transfer, which is a bit of a headache, but I think it's something to consider for sure. Something I think is perfectly plausible. But I think that's pretty much everything I have to say about game week 27. I hope you all enjoyed the video as always. I hope it is a bit useful because I know like double game week 26 for a lot of people just hasn't gone to plan. You prepare as much as you can for FPL. Sometimes things just it really just throw a spanner in the works. You expect Arsenal to be keeping clean sheets in at least one of those two games. Obviously, the Brentford game, it was. I think there's a bit of doubt there, but Wolves, you're really like not expecting them to lose the clean sheet and then to concede twice. So it's like another -1 on each of your defenders is really a big headache. But hopefully, this is a bit of help for you all, kind of talking through my thoughts a bit on what I'm looking to do. I'll catch you in the next one, and it's me for now.